The LA Rams. The LA Rams, a team with the most hype of any team in the NFL. No, they didn't win the Super Bowl last year. They actually lost in the first round to the Atlanta Falcons. But they made a lot of moves this offseason to put themselves in a place for a big second year. So AC, man, this is a draft that they didn't have a first or a second round pick, but they had a lot of picks in the sixth round. 1, 2, 3, 4 picks in the sixth round, 2 fifths, 2 fourths, a third, and then 2 sevenths. This is a team that I think got a lot of depth on their team. They really needed to get, some just players in the front seven. Kaiser, inside linebacker, 5th round. Franklin, defensive end. They got a guy that I really like, who I still don't know how to pronounce his name. I just call him Oscar from Oklahoma. I can't do it. But the guy,
Ogbanina Runkawo. There we go.
He's really good. I thought he was one of the better, pure pass rushers in the draft. He is really small, which is the reason why he fell so far. But he kind of reminds me a little bit of Elvis Dumervil in build and just the ability to go around the edge. I think he could actually play a lot for this team on third down, a team that lost Robert Quinn. So look out for him this year. John Kelly at running back, maybe a decent backup. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different defensive lineman picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 offensive lineman picks. So offensive line, defensive line, that's what the Rams were going after in this draft. And they just got a ton of depth. No, they didn't get any absolute studs, but they got some depth. I gave them a B because they had a ton of picks just to kind of throw out amongst the rest of their players on their depth chart. AC.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I was actually closer to a B minus C plus, but I settled at B plus because if you think about it, their first round they get Cooks. So I think I put that kind of in it because I don't even think this is that great of a draft, to be honest. They just were all depth. But even then, trading all their picks, not having any picks, and then just what they ended up with. They're not, they only get to pick one player in center.
And they get Marcus Peters in the second round, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what I mean? So that's a B plus to me just for that. But I don't think, maybe that Oklahoma linebacker because if anything, there's a spot there because I think that's, obviously their interior is awesome and Michael Brockers, but their outside line.
The thing about them is they play
No, they play a weird, a hybrid defense. But besides Mark Barron, their linebackers are no names now.
I know,
absolute no names. That could be a huge issue. So at Mark Barron, inside linebacker, who's great. The other inside linebacker is Bryce Hager. The outside linebacker is Samson Ubakam, and then the other outside linebacker is Matt Longacre. And then you just have a bunch of rookies and kind of younger guys, but still that's a huge change. So, I know they needed some offensive line.
I'm just guessing that we're not going to see a lot of base defense with the Rams.
No, true, but still, you're going to have at least two linebackers on the field.
And that's the thing. I think we're going to see a weakness. I think we're going to see a weakness is people attacking the edge and running on the edge against them because they don't have any linebackers. I mean, that was their biggest concern, but I think they did a really good job of just getting defensive and offensive line because they do need that.
No, they do. But obviously, they're still pretty much going with the same offensive line that they had last year. If there's no injuries, they'll be okay.
And I'm not really sure, because Kaiser is an inside linebacker. I'll call him, Oscar, my boy Oscar. He's an outside linebacker.
Yeah.
Then you have Young, who's 6'4", 254, 3-4 outside linebacker potentially. Traven Howard, who actually I'm looking at CBS here, gave him an A-, small linebacker, former safety. So another kind of Mark Barron cover guy. He'd probably be an inside linebacker. So they did get a lot of linebackers. They're not big names from the draft. We'll see.
Oh, and it's a numbers thing too. If you do your scouting well enough and you have those 4, 5, 6 round picks or whatever they had, it's throwing mud at a wall and see what sticks. Something's going to stick. You know, like they're going to hit on one of those guys that are probably going to be able to be a good player. And you're seeing more and more, obviously you notice it more on your teams, like that you're seeing more and more guys in the 5th, 6th, 7th round make and help your team right away nowadays. Because especially with the scouting, you're picking guys that fits your system or can go in and play right away. So personally, I didn't think their draft was that good. I was like a C+, B-, but I think trading away 1st and 2nd and getting 2 unbelievable players, that's, you know, if you think about it, Brandon Cooks is the best 1st round pick, up there with Saquon Barkley probably, most talent wise. You know what I mean? And then like defensively, you know, Marcus Peters is the best 2nd round pick
for the Rams. They definitely needed a receiver. So
for sure. No, and what they did, you know, sometimes it's like, yeah, you don't like Cooks is young and so is Peters. So are you really missing out? Not really. I wish more trades were done like that. But just teams are scared because they don't want to give away a 1st round pick, which are somewhat up in the air anyways. You know what I mean? Like that's what I don't get. You don't see these trades more often. Because teams love 1st round picks. It's almost like teams don't want to give up their 1st round pick rather than a team being like, we want this player type thing. So I wish it happened more often. But yeah.
Okay, so the LA Rams kind of, a lot of depth in their actual draft itself, but they also made some trades to kind of make up for in the 1st and 2nd round with Peters and Cooks, but they added some players that maybe, you know, some sneaky ads at linebacker and edge rusher that could potentially be big time impact players even in this year. So we'll see what happens with the Rams. Very intriguing draft, but overall kind of a B+ for the Rams.